Hi, I'm Justin Brines, Deputy Chief of Cabarrus County EMS. We're here at the Harold B. McEachern Greenway in downtown Concord for the 2021 Hearts and Heroes virtual program. For the past several years, Hearts and Heroes has reunited cardiac survivors with the teams that helped save their lives. Once again this year, COVID forced us to celebrate virtually. As you'll soon see, however, we were still able to capture some very special, heartfelt reunions. The three stories you'll experience this year represent many things. They showcase the highest level of cardiac care delivered by trained professionals using state-of-the-art technology. All those elements work together for one singular purpose: to save lives. In 2021, Cabarrus County reached a 34% survival rate for patients who experienced a witnessed cardiac arrest. That number should be celebrated. Our first story features Catherine Ellis of Concord. If you've driven downtown during the day, you may know Miss Ellis by sight. She's a power walker whose route covers several miles in this area. In fact, this path right here is part of her main daily route. On May 22, 2021, Catherine had almost finished for the day when she collapsed. Thanks to bystander CPR and prompt first response, she survived. This story is extra special to me because I walked by Catherine right near this spot on the Greenway about 10 minutes before she collapsed. Additionally, bystander CPR was initiated by my wife, Sarah. Recently, we reunited Catherine and her husband with those who helped that day to discuss how the incident impacted all their lives. Here's more.
I walk about 4.5 miles every day. And I had gone that afternoon. It was May 22nd, and it wasn't that hot. And I leave my house, and I cross Union Street, and I go down and get on the Greenway in front of the post office. And I go all the way down, and then I turn around and go all the way back to my house, 4.5 miles. And I had done that afternoon. It was about 2:30 when I left the house. And I don't remember feeling bad. I don't remember anything unusual about coming up the big hill to the post office or anything like that. And then I woke up like 5 days later. I have always walked, just for health, just to age well, to keep in good shape and try and be healthy. And I try and eat right, and we don't have any heart disease in my family. I'm not on it. I was never on any medication. I didn't have any health concerns, any problems, any issues. Nothing, no kind of indicator of any kind.
When I got that phone call from one of the bystanders down there, I was just completely just blown away. It was just the last thing I thought would happen that day. My wife's face come up in her number, and I thought, well, she must be on her way back. And the lady that was on the phone was my wife, and then she was telling me what had happened. I ran out of the house, come up to the church, and these two were working on her. And
yeah, I have an iPhone, and it had my emergency contacts in it, and so she picked up my phone. I'm sure I dropped it when I went down, and she picked it up, and she knew how to get to the emergency contacts in the phone.
So Sarah, you were the first one to find her. What did you see?
Well, it was an interesting day that day for me. I was meeting a friend, and I had my kids with me, and we said, tonight, let's go to the splash pad. So we ended up, I think, around 2 o'clock. We had gotten there, and the kids were playing, and I was talking to my friend, and my back was to the church, the Lutheran church. And I hear this guy say, "I need 911." And it sounded kind of like a joke. Like, what did he say? Is this for real? Is this Saturday? There were a ton of people at the splash pad. There was a lot of traffic on the road. So I stood up, turned around, and saw a lady down at the church, and he yelled it again, "I need 911." So I'm like, okay, I know CPR. So I told my friend just to watch the kids, take care of everything. Didn't really think much about it. I just kind of went barefoot across the road in front of all the cars. I didn't really know what to expect, so I was probably a little nervous getting over there. But it was just the guy over there at the time, and then I think 2 of the other moms maybe followed me over there to the splash pad. And I checked to see if she was breathing, to see if she had a pulse, and she did not. And I told the guy that we need to start CPR. So I initiated CPR, and then the other ladies that were there, I think one called 911, and then the other one grabbed your phone and was trying to get it open by your face and called your husband. And all that happened while I was working on her. And then the guy that was there, I don't know his name, but he was amazing. He just stayed right there at your head. And, we were just counting. We probably did 3 rounds of CPR. And then the next thing I know, there's firemen right here, 2 police officers. And then about that time when I walked away, paramedics are coming up. And I didn't really know all that was happening. I was just focused on you and just trying to do my best.
Summer, you were one of the first paramedics there. What do you remember?
I just remember rolling up, actually seeing someone doing CPR. I just remember jumping out of the truck, grabbing all our stuff, just running up there immediately. But I remember I was just sitting there for what seemed like an hour, just over and over and over again. After several minutes, me and Malden both looked at the monitor. We're like, it actually looks like torsades, which is something we don't see every day. So that was like our last little bit of hope. We're like, well, let's go down that route. Let's treat that. And that's actually what ended up happening. We ended up getting a pulse back, and it wasn't even on the hour, on a 30-minute mark, nothing like that. But I just remember hearing the church bells going off when we did get a pulse back.
Yeah, I remember them. They were really trying. They didn't give up.
Meant a lot to you, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, I don't remember any of it, but when people told me later how long, it went on and on and on.
What's the first thing you do remember when you woke up?
Well, I lost 4 or 5 days.
She thought somebody stopped the van and kidnapped her.
Yeah,
and took her
I had
there.
a mental break. I lost a whole week, and I had no idea. And somebody said, you had a heart attack, and I thought, well, that's not possible. I don't know what you people are thinking, but, I worked my whole life, so I would never have a heart attack. And I just couldn't imagine why I was in the hospital. And but then I started hearing the stories, and I couldn't believe that y'all would go that long and that hard for somebody who had no pulse and was dead. But I tried to go back and remember, the last thing I remembered. But as far as I could go was Friday evening. I had no recollection of Saturday.
Mr. Ellis, tell us how you felt when she first woke up.
I was relieved. Good gosh. I mean, it was just, I didn't think, I know if she was going to wake up, whether or not she was going to have any mental capacity or whatever, because had been out for so long and they'd worked so hard on her. I thought, she might come back and, she might not be there mentally, or maybe some of it might have been degraded in her mental capabilities. But no, I was thanking the Lord. But yeah, this past holiday season was definitely a plus because it didn't look like we was going to have one. If it hadn't been for that young lady right there, it'd been worse.
I wouldn't have been here.
Not every day do we get to feel like we've really made a difference. And every once in a while you get that call that reminds you why you do what you do.
Yep.
Miss Ellis, how was your recovery after the hospital and getting to that point?
It took me a while. I was in the hospital for 10 days. My memory was very slow to come back. When I got home, I read every night before I go to sleep, and I opened my Kindle, and I was 50 pages into a book, and I had no clue what that book was about. So I had to go back and restart it. And then I looked back at the other books I had finished in the last month, and I couldn't remember any of those. But over time, every day it got a little better. And finally, in the car, we have Sirius XM and we have 70s on 7. And when we got in the car and I knew all the words to all the songs, then I knew I was back. I could sing them all.
Would you say your outlook on life changed?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. You know, I walk every day, and I've been walking for 30 years. And sometimes it's too hot, and you don't want to, and you don't feel like it. But now, every day when I go, I'm thankful that I still can. There could have been so many different outcomes from that situation, and I'm just thankful to be back, you know, where I am. And some of my friends have asked me, well, why do you think you came back? Oh, I don't know. You know, is there a reason? You know, maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it meant something for one of y'all, and it wasn't about me. I don't think I came back for a reason, but I am truly grateful that everybody worked as hard as they did, and that it all came together, and that I got to come back.
Mr. Ellis, would you say your outlook on life has changed?
Yeah, I'll take her for, you know, we've been married almost 40 years. And
The day before was our 38th wedding anniversary.
so, I look at her in a different way. And I'm so thankful. Is she still here?
If there's one thing you could say to these folks, what would it be?
God, I don't know how you could thank them enough or do anything for them, because I mean, you know, they saved the life of the most important person in my world. But it's just, what they do is amazing.
Miss Ellis, what would you say?
I'm so eternally grateful that y'all worked as long and hard as you did. That Sarah came over and started it, and you didn't give up. So.
No, I remember.
I mean, I don't know what told you not to give up, but you didn't, and I just will be so grateful for that forever. The incident was on May the 22nd, and I was discharged on June the 3rd. And I walked around my block on the 3rd when I came out. I came down here the 4th or 5th. I mean, I didn't make it halfway down the hill, and then I had to rest twice going home. But it took me a long time to build back up. Everybody in this town knows who I am and that I walk, and they would be flabbergasted to think I would never do it again. A lot of my friends used to joke for years that one day we'll find you dead on the Greenway now. So, and it almost happened.
As I mentioned earlier, I often walk the same path that Miss Ellis does, and it sure is great to see her back out here. Our next story features a well-known retired doctor who suffered a heart attack while walking near his home. For nearly 40 years, Bill Cottrell worked as an anesthesiologist in Concord. Even after retiring, Bill maintained an active lifestyle, which included plenty of family time. But in December of 2020, Bill needed life-saving medical support himself after his neighbors found him unresponsive in their yard. Here's Bill's story.
I'm William Cottrell, MD. I go by Bill. I have lived in Concord since 1978 when I left Florida with a residency in anesthesiology and came right to what used to be Cabarrus Memorial Hospital. I have always enjoyed the idea that I like to exercise and work out. The other thing I do a lot of is music. I like to play the guitar.
Their father's health did slowly go by.
I don't, especially like to talk about how I died. About a week before it happened, my daughter, who lives in Gainesville, had a baby.
Bill had gotten home the night before from driving to Florida.
Came home and had supper.
We got up the next morning.
I was walking the dog.
He said, I'm going to walk her up the hill.
If you drive around, you'll see it's a very steep hill, but every weekend I used to run up that hill. Some neighbors were in the yard, and they said I just kind of fell over.
He's been gone a while, a little longer than usual. And in front of our home, I see the EMS go by. Bill was lying on the concrete in the driveway, unresponsive. And he was surrounded by that time by EMS, fire department, ladder 2, and they were working feverishly to get his heart going again. I remember thinking he was so cold and he was blue. Yeah, I thought he was gone.
They intubated me and did CPR. Now there's an irony in this. I'm an anesthesiologist and I've intubated thousands of people. The EMS people would sometimes come to the operating room to get training. That may have been a good thing for me. What I would tell the EMS people is God bless you. Your skills and your responsiveness made all the difference in the world to me. So God bless them. Thank you. Sometimes you question yourself, or you wonder how much you're appreciated, or if you really do make a difference. And you absolutely make a difference.
My children and his children, thank you. His newly born grandson, thanks you. All of his family and all of his friends, thank you. His was too good a life to go, and you guys brought him back.
My goal is to get back and I'm play golf and play music and play with my grandkids and things like that. And I've pretty much done that, but you don't want to ever forget what life's about and how narrow the margins of life are. You're only a few heartbeats away, and of course we're all in the same boat. So it's good that we stop and realize that.
Bill is such an inspiration. So glad he's doing well. Our final story involves Donna Balcom of Kannapolis. 1 year ago this month, Donna began experiencing chest pains at her home in Kannapolis. She ultimately went into cardiac arrest while being transported to the hospital. As you'll see, we planned a special surprise reunion for Donna and the team that helped save her life. Here's Donna's story.
My name is Donna Balcom. I live in Kannapolis. Lived here all my life, and I just live very simply. I'm a grandma of 3 grandchildren, and I have 2 sons. I have 2 boxers, Lucy and Lacey. Lacey does have a brain tumor, so she's extra special. And I have Storm. She's a pit. We don't call her FAT. We call her Wholesome because it hurts her feelings. They give me so much love and happiness. I don't think I could function without my animals. My brother had a heart attack. My mom had open heart surgery. My daddy's had 4 or 5 heart attacks. He's had 2 open heart surgeries. That whole week, my roommate kept telling me that I was awful pale. I was more tired, but like I said, I'm on the go all the time. The night that I had my heart attack, about 4:35, woke me up from my dead sleep. I was hurting real bad in my chest and kind of in my jaw and a little bit back in my shoulders. And being a family with heart problems, I knew it was a heart attack. I guess I kept thinking that it was just going to be a little one, not no big one. Ended up being a big one. And I kept walking the floors, kept thinking, it's going to get better. And I was praying to God, and I knew He was with me. I just kept on walking the floors, and I thought, dang, this ain't getting no better. So I had to put the dogs up because the dogs wouldn't have let anybody come in. And about this time, I was getting sick on my stomach. I knew that I had waited too long. And I knew that if I didn't call them, I was going to die. I called 911, and then I called my daddy.
I was sound asleep, but I jumped up and come on over here. I don't live at about 1.5 miles from here. I knew what she was going through because I went through it.
The firemen come first, and then EMS came in, and they got me on the stretcher. When
I got here, they were working on her. I knew it was bad. She was pale, couldn't really talk to me, and she's a talker. So when she can't talk, there's something wrong. They have had their act together. They knew what they were doing and did it.
I was in the ambulance, but that's about as far as I remember. Then I was unconscious.
If you could talk to them, what would you tell the folks who helped you out that night?
Oh my gosh. I did write the fire department a thank you note. I couldn't find the EMS guys that came because I didn't know if they come from Rowan County or if they come from Cabarrus County. Is that right? This side's a little loose.
There you go.
All right.
All right, if you could talk to the folks that helped you that night, what would you tell them?
I would thank them from the bottom of my heart for saving me.
Well, if I could have you turn around, you could tell them yourself. These three guys.
Hey.
Are y'all the ones?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can I hug you?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I didn't think I'd cry for that. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Thank y'all so much. Oh, this just means the world to me, y'all. I tried to find out who you were because I wanted to write y'all a thank you note.
They were in the back with you, and I was driving.
Okay.
So,
Can you tell me what happened? I mean, I don't remember nothing.
I remember walking into your house and you were sitting on your couch and you had two dogs that were in their crates, and you said your chest was hurting and you're a little short of breath, but you'd have called sooner, but you want to take care of your dogs and everything. We put you on our monitor and we saw a lethal heart arrhythmia. That's when we said, yeah, we gotta move out. We turned on Lake Concord Road, and you said, I think I'm gonna get sick. And I turned around to grab a vomit bag for you. That's why I heard the monitor beeping, and you had coded. So we turned around and immediately started CPR on you. And then as we were backing into the bay, we delivered our first shock. And then
some nurses came out to help us.
Yeah.
Had several staff members come out and help. I think it was after the second shot that we got pulses back.
And Adam did a big part too. I yelled up, I said, hey, she coded. And he called into the hospital and let them know so that we could, as soon as we were backing in, we'd have more people to help us. The second we run the 12 lead and we interpret it as a heart attack or a STEMI, we transmitted straight to the hospital. And then from there, we call them and say, hey, we're EMS 41, we're coming at you with a patient who's having a heart attack. This is everything that's going on. They give us a room, and by the time that we get there, we have a doctor, a cardiologist, and the team of nurses there ready to go.
Well, this is awesome. We usually don't get to see patients after the fact.
I just can't thank y'all enough. I really can't. I knew I was telling myself I wasn't going to do this. But I'm doing it.
This is, in a perfect world, this is how things are supposed to go. You call 911 because you're having chest pain. We figure out you're having a heart attack. We get you to the hospital, and you walk out. That's exactly what happened, and that's perfect.
After I had the stent put in and got to my room, I felt pretty decent. I just wanted to go home. And of course, they wouldn't let me. When I got home, I tired more easily. I couldn't go out in the yard and work at my flower beds. I couldn't go outside and walk. I keep telling myself, this heart attack did not do me any good, and that would be my ongoing joke. My friend Marie got me started on diamond art because she knew I would go crazy. And I did a bunch of those, which kept me from being bored. You have a new perspective on life when you pass, and I couldn't thank them enough. There's nothing I could get for them that I could show my appreciation. But every time I hear a fire truck and an ambulance, I stop what I'm doing and I have prayer right then, every single time. I will do that until the day the Lord takes me home.
Thanks, Donna, and thanks to all who participated in this year's stories. The past 2 years have been a challenge for everyone in public safety and healthcare. I would like to say a special thank you to all the allied partners who contribute to the high-quality medical care we appreciate in Cabarrus County. Cardiac arrest survival depends on many hands working in harmony. Stories like those we profiled here would not be possible without dedicated individuals who are committed to providing competent and compassionate care. To my coworkers at Cabarrus County EMS, I want to say a special thank you. You are the reason our programs succeed. You're the reason our patients and their families are cared for, and the reason that I am proud to call Cabarrus County the perfect place to live and work. Now, here's a full list of the organizations and people involved in life-saving situations throughout the year, along with highlights of some of our best and brightest. You'll see what I mean. Thanks for watching.